Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. We're going to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here. Good morning, happy Friday. This is Barbara J. Beckley, and you are looking right now, if you're tuned in, wherever you're at, in the Coach's Lounge with Barbara Beckley. Every Friday I come and I bring some awesome, amazing, magnificent, I can think of some other wonderful words for these wonderful coaches, educators, and consultants. Now, I started this show probably under the Diamond Factor Network. I think it's been 6 months now. It's been going on. It's one of my newer shows. And I decided to create this show because I really wanted to stress and show how important people that come in people's lives and help them to achieve their goals and their dreams. Now, it takes a lot. We have our dreams, we have our goals, we put our objectives down, we have our little action plan and everything. But it's always nice to have somebody to come into your world and encourage you, inspire you, get on you sometimes, give you that accountability and say, you know what, through all that, you can do what you want to do in life. And those are the coaches that we have in our lives. Those are the consultants we have. I mean, I'm a coach myself and consultant, and we know there's a lot of wonderful change makers out there that I call the coaches. And a lot of times they don't get their just due. A lot of times you don't hear about them too much. You always hear about, the person that they helped. And they might say, and my coach did this. And I'm like, you know what? No, we need to start spotlighting the coaches. We need to start spotlighting so you know what they're doing, how they're changing lives, how they're really behind the scenes. Because a lot of time when you do have a coach, they don't want to be like, okay, I'm the coach. Basically they're behind the scene helping their clients and mentoring. So this is a show to give love to them so you can understand what they do. And then eventually, if you get the relationship between the 25 minutes that I talk to them, that you might want to reach out to them and they can be your coach. So with that said, we have a wonderful, wonderful lineup today. And I'm just, when I have ladies on the show, I call the women queens because they're royalty. And I always got to remind people that you women are queens. So we want to give the just due and the respect. So my first wonderful queen that's coming on is Linda Babulic. And her mission is to be a service in love and beauty. That's why she enjoys teaching women to crystallize what they want in business and in life. So they are in power, control, and lead their best life. Awesome. I'm loving this already. And, she's touching my heart already because, I'm always talking about how we have unique gifts in us and special gifts in us, especially everybody does. But, I always tend to women because I do train women too and coach women. And I love what Linda is saying about that because we need to always remember to understand no matter what's going on in our lives, that we have that power in us to move forward in what we need to do. So true. So we're going to listen to this coach. She's going to give us some tips. She's going to just tell a little bit about her. But before I bring on royalty, before I bring on the queen, you know I have to do it right. So we'll be back right after this little video. Good morning. Good morning, Linda. How are you doing, lady, queen, royalty?
And back to you. I am very well, my queen.
Oh, thank you. See, we got to put these crowns on, make sure that you have your crown on straight, because sometimes in life it gets just a little bit crooked, but we're here to remind you how much a queen you are. So thank you so much, Linda, for coming on the show, The Coach's Lounge. I'm very excited to get to know you well and let the audience get to know you. Because like I said, coaches are very important in people's lives. And hopefully, I know you understand that because you have been an awesome, with your background and what you do.
Thank you.
And what you do. So I want to start off by first, just because I always tell people before we even start about what you do and help others, is just I want to pull the curtain a little bit in your life and what started you down this road of helping, especially women, to get that power, control, and then leading their best life.
I started off in corporate training. Someone asked me if I could facilitate some training at an adult education center, and that's where I started. And I wrote a program called Fundamentals of Leadership, 4 modules, 4 hours each, 1 hour apart. And my audience were the auto parts suppliers to Honda, and mostly men and a few women working in such a male-dominated industry. It was a real experience. Hundreds and hundreds of first entry-level supervisors came through this program, and they learned how to respect the women that were there and how to work together, how to communicate together. So there were 4 modules: effective conversations, problem solving, conflict resolution, and our favorite, focus on people. Because that's really what it's all about. If you're going to supervise staff, you need to be focusing on people. If you're going to work with people, you need to focus on the people. So that's where I started. And then I went to a women's circle and I said something, and somebody said, if you did a workshop about that, I would come. And that workshop turned into a series of workshops, and that series of workshops turned into my book.
Wonderful. See how everything flows with what, your passion. You got the passion in you, and it flows into helping others, and how you got to the workshop, to the book. I love it. I love it. So, I know when you were talking about corporate, and because I'm in corporate still too, that's my, like I said, my day job is that, and then my night and everything else is my own business. And I know that what you're saying is such a need, especially for women in the corporate area. It's kind of sad that still today, we still struggle. I mean, we still have challenges putting ourselves out there of, that we are important, that we have power, that we can do what we need to do within the corporate world.
And it's good that you touch on that word power, because that's something that we give away. We give our power away. Nobody can take it from you. Oh, when I go home, my mother makes me feel, she takes my power away, or he does when I talk to him. You're giving it away. You're giving them permission to have your power. We give it away to an individual, to a group of individuals, to our family, to our job. And we take a whole great big chunk and we give it to fear. Here you go, fear. I'm going to give you my power for today because I'm going to be shaking in my boots of whatever I'm doing. But once we start to take our power back, everything changes. And I don't know about you, but that's certainly what I've seen in the past couple of years with the pandemic. Women are standing up and going, wait a minute, I'm going to straighten that crown because this mess would not have happened if women were in charge. You don't wait until your baby has a fever of 110 before you take action. You go, oh, you're a little warm. Let's take action now. They waited too long. And women are looking around and saying, now's our time, and we're going to make a difference, and we're going to make this world a better place for the people. We're taking our power back.
Yes, definitely. So, Linda, I'm going to ask you just for like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I just have to clear up something because my allergies are running, and I want to make sure I can speak to you, continue the conversation. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds just to tell us about some of your courses that you have, and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I have several courses, and I have some that I offer as introductions to the paid courses. One is how to create connection, because that's what really builds relationships, is how to create that connection. And I'll be happy to give them to Barbara. She'll be able to put them in the show notes for you. It's on my website. They're a little bit deep in there. Or just send me a note. You can contact me directly on my website. That's probably the easiest thing to do. How to create that connection so you do have that heart-to-heart connection with someone, and to be able to then move it into having a very powerful, what I call juicy first impression. Because that's so important. When we're meeting people, we want to be sure, now that we're getting out again and networking, we want to have a very powerful first impression. We do that by setting a powerful intent. I set an intent for this show today. And then we want to move into effective conversations. I also do a talk called Juicy Effective Conversations Between Women and Men, because we don't converse the same. So if you're looking for a speaker, I'm available for that one. And there is a course that goes with that. How do you have your body language, the language you choose, your physical, your mental, your spiritual? How do you ask the right questions? Have you ever had someone ask you a question that you just didn't even want to answer? Have you ever met someone that 4 times and they don't remember you? That's the kind of interrelationships that I like to talk about. So those are pretty much my more business kind of courses. And I also teach the staff and the head of the corporation. On the other side, I work with women who are interested in getting into that little piece inside, or big piece, that chasm that's inside their heart, that they know they want more. So we work together to create a mind map of your ideal life or your dream life, or some of them right in the middle, put my empire. I'm building my empire. And what does that look like? So we lay that out. That's very important. I also do Akashic record readings, which is going into your book of life to see what do the cards hold for you going forward, and how can you have a smoother transition? How can you make those decisions more powerfully?
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I wanted to make sure usually I give time towards the end, but I said, okay, this is a good time for me to get myself together so you could talk about all the wonderful products and services that you have.
Thank you. And of course, my book is available online on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Show that book again. We want to make sure that book.
So this is why I call things juicy, because it has a juicy orange on it.
Look at that. I like that.
And we often talk about zesty. I've been called zesty more than once. I drive a little orange car. This is my little orange car. Oh, I have the big luxury car, big white luxury car, and I cashed it in for this. Super cute, super fun to drive.
It's funny you talk about orange because I know you're orange all over with your website, everything. I said, you know what? This is taking action right here. I love the color. I love the branding that you have for yourself because, it just pops for one thing. And it shows how, like you said, how you are as a coach, and you draw people that way. So good job with that. I love that. When I said, dang, I'm to the point of maybe I want to change my colors. So, Linda, I wanted to kind of go into a little bit like if a person comes to you, as a coach, and they basically say, Linda, I'm having some, just some internal issues here. I don't really know what I need to do with myself, with my own power. I don't even feel like I have it, or I'm having some issues with that within my business, or my daily life. What would you first start off with, or kind of discuss with them just a little bit?
Well, every single client I've ever worked with, there's a lot of them, they all come to me in confusion, and they all leave in clarity. I don't know what I'm going to do about my work, my home, and I meld the two. We can't separate our work life from our home life because they do influence one and the other. So often we'll end up talking about relationships. I ask them first with a nice interview questionnaire, what frustrates you about your life? And that tells me a great deal. And what satisfies you about your life. So we want more what satisfies us, less that frustrates us. The very first exercise I do with my clients is the values exercise, which is in my book. And when I work with my clients, I send them a deck of cards. See, I've printed all of the values on these perforated business cards so they can sort their values and really know the 5 top values that should be guiding them. They know their bottom values that they shouldn't be going anywhere near, because that's not what they want in their life. Values change and values guard our life. Those are big, big starting pieces.
Well, I really love the cards. It's nice to have, because like you said, you have something for them so they can look at basically and continuously to, remind themselves. And I like what you said about, values that they change and they guard your life. And I always, use the word too with that, boundaries to a certain extent, because not so much of boundaries holding you back on things, but boundaries to say, look, this is what our beliefs are. This is what I'm doing. You are not going to change me in that atmosphere. You're not going to put me in a situation where I'm not happy. So I love just express a little bit about that. Like you said, with the values, going more in detail in what you do with your clients.
Well, certainly the values are a big piece, because you may find yourself skiing down a slippery slope, and because you're with someone who values adventure and you don't. You'd rather be having a great conversation, probably with a girlfriend, or reading a book. You don't value that kind of risky hiking, skiing thing. So that would be down in your bottom 5 values. So you want to be really clear, and you want to review your values every couple of months. My hairdresser put the cards in her waiting room in the pre-years. And while they were getting their hair dyed, they would lay out their values. And it was very, very incredible how people don't know where their values are if you ask them. What's important to you is a little bit different than what are your values, because your values do guide you. It takes you out of that gray zone into, do I value, well, mine are health, number 1, family, number 2, and integrity is number 3. So you really need to have those in order. And somebody said to me, they said, wow, you're always open to your family. And I said, that's one of my top values. My mother passed when I was only 17 years old. And I didn't get to know my grandparents. So of course I'm going to spend time with my family as much as I can, as much as they want me to.
And I'm glad, thank you, and for telling us that your story about, losing your mother at 17. I lost my dad when I was 17, and I totally understand that's one of the values that we both agree on, because like you said, things that happen in our lives too kind of sometimes create those values at the same time. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I'm old enough to remember when we used to drink and drive. Come on. We wouldn't go skiing after we had a drink, but we drove home with the kids in the back seat and no seatbelt. Those are values now. I was just in Florida in the spring, and they're riding around on motorcycles with no helmets. It's like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
And, so some of us value that, some of us don't. But seat belts, not smoking in public places, those values have all changed over the years. And certainly don't drink and drive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you're so right, Linda. Sometimes I look, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm just getting older or I don't know what it is, but sometimes I have to ask the question, like, what are you thinking about? Certain people. I said, this is not good if you don't do that. Something else could happen. But yeah, so values are very important, and like you said, it creates that awareness for you of yourself to say some things that you'll tolerate, some things that you will, that you like, and what you desire, and what your passions are.
Yeah, absolutely. And the values then lead into expectations. So first we do the values exercise, and then we do a mind map. Here's mine. Mine's very complex.
Wow. Oh, okay.
I have software for it. So these are all the roles that I play, and this is all the way I put my message out there. But we want to really be clear on what do we want in our lives as far as setting our expectations financially. What do we want to be secure? And then the extra, what experiences do we want in our life? What relationships do we want in our life? And I think COVID really gave a lot of people a lovely opportunity to bail out. I'm not going to Thanksgiving, and I'm so relieved because Uncle so-and-so, who's always inappropriate, I don't have to put up with him this year. So I think there was a lot of that, a lot of bailouts of changing the way we were pressured into doing things. Yeah. And like you said, that set new boundaries, didn't it?
It did.
And well, I didn't go for 2 years. I'm good. So it's really laying out what do we want in our relationships, in our day-to-day lives. What do we want to feel is the most important piece. When we get up in the morning, what do we want to feel? What practices do we have that will anchor us and set our day on a good tone? I was raised Catholic, where you said your prayers in the morning and you said your prayers at night. So we can, some of us, I have certainly stepped away from the Catholic Church because of the issues they have, but we threw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's keep some of the good stuff. Let's, when we wake up in the morning, have that gratitude. I got up this morning at 6 o'clock, walked 4 doors down to my daughter's, and we go swimming together a few times a week. And it was it's a beautiful sunny day. It's gorgeous. I'm going swimming. Just pure gratitude that I have her right there. And we had a great time. We had a good giggle, and it just sets my day. And I always, when I get off this call, I'll be doing my meditation. I do my meditation every day. It's a journaling meditation. Keeps me focused. Otherwise, it doesn't work for me. I can't last long enough. But my written meditation lasts me about 18 minutes. Included in it is a piece that I work with my clients on, and that is gratitudes. But he does it a little differently. 3 gratitudes for something in your life. So I always start with health. I start with wealth. And then I'll say sunshine, whatever it is today. The next 3 things that you have gratitude for are 3 things in your business. And Barbara, you're going on my list today because I'm very grateful to be here today. I put gratitude in for my clients. I put gratitude in for people that are helping in my business because, like you say, the right coach always comes along at the right time. And then the last 3 that are often challenging, what are 3 things you're grateful for about yourself?
Wow. And so first of all, sorry about that. My internet connection left me, but I'm glad you're just rocking and rolling, Linda. So thank you so much for doing
I'm used to going with the flow. I had my own stage show for 3 years. So there was all semblance of nonsense could go on.
You're a pro. And I said, the internet guys just like took me back. But I said, you know what, Linda got this. But, I love, that last thing that you said about what are the 3 things that and I don't know about you, Linda, because when I talk to some of my clients and I'd ask that question in a similar way, and they really have a hard time with that. They do.
And what the prompt that I use that helps, I am. You know, the I am statement, I love it because everything you say will follow that. I am determined. I am dedicated. I am prompt, which you noticed. Whatever those I ams are, that's where you put them in there. Those are the qualities that you have that you're grateful for.
I like that. That's good because you can't, it's funny when you say I am, you can't really get around kind of saying something else that's not about you. It's almost like it tricks you to say, I have to say something because I'm saying I am.
You're so right, because we're good at dodging. You know, we're slippery. We're slippery. And as coaches, we need to be the ones that can maneuver that slipperiness to be able to go towards the target and the goal that we're laser focused on.
Yes. And especially us as, you know, I know, you know, I love the men out there too, but I'm talking about the women right now. Us as women sometimes have a hard time to say, I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am knowledgeable. You know, I am a go-getter. And sometimes, you know, we say that and sometimes we have it here, but then we don't have it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the exercises I do often is, you know, you put your hand on your head and there's all kinds of thoughts swirling around. Just grab one that's upsetting you. And this is a sacred practice that I do. Take it. Okay, what's going on in there? Just take it out. Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. Just take it out. Okay, I got it in the palm of my hand. I'm going to put it in my heart. Oh. It's got a new attitude now. As soon as I took that, whatever it was, out of my head and put it into my heart, and then I can go a step forward. I will put it down into my womb space, and that's where it will get healed. That's that warm hug. That's why pregnant women all walking around with their hand on their baby chest, on their baby bump. You put it in your womb space, whether you really have a womb now or not. And men can do this too, because they all came from a womb. When my son read my book, he said, well, it's really good, Mom, but that part about the womb is just creepy. I said, well, you came out of one, mine, which really freaked him out. Like, I don't want to think about that. It's like, oh, yuck, Mommy.
You told it straight to him, like, hey, just letting you know.
Yeah, get over it, because that's where it's from. But when you do that exercise and you take that out of your head into your heart, and then you just ask for healing and just hold that there for a couple of minutes. Hold it there for 90 seconds. And pretty soon you just have this calmness. It's like you're having a direct beam of light from Great Spirit coming down. The divine is blessing you because you're just shooting your energy up and saying, just take care of this.
I love it. I just you doing that exercise, Linda, I just felt the peace. It just, I mean, when you were walking through it, I was like, wow, I got to do that every day. That felt so good. It really did. It makes you of the awareness, like you said, from taking it from that point and then just putting it here and then put it, like you said, in the womb space.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'll be putting more of those practices out online. And that's part of my next book that I've just started working on.
So you know what, by you saying that means that I can, because I always do this, you know, to my wonderful queens, welcome you back to give more information and tell us more about what you're doing and your books and everything. Because we're here. One thing about it, Linda, I want to tell you right here in front of all the audience, everything, that I'm here to help you shine your light too, and everywhere it goes. So it's very important to me. And this is one of the reasons why I created this particular show, is because I want to shine a light on you and others that are doing tremendous work in people's lives. You're a world changer. So I want you to know that.
Thank you.
You are a world changer. So that's one of the things you can take from me to you. And this was just an awesome with you coming here, being here, telling us about, basically reminding us about the power of control and our beauty. I love that about beauty. Now, before, we sign up, because I still want to just give you a little bit more time to, do any last thoughts. But beauty part, again, going back to women, notice a lot of times, especially women that are getting older, as of us, the beauty part they tend to be like, well, I'm not like I used to be, or I'm not at that point. And they start to, doubt themselves in that area. How do you handle that with women?
Well, I had a big awakening. Just in the pre-years, we went on a cruise. And I didn't bring any two-piece bathing suits, or I didn't bring any bikinis. I had nothing that showed the midriff. I had two-piece, but they were long tops. And I'm walking along the deck of the cruise ship, and there are these women. They got a butt the size of Texas. They got a bathing suit the size of Rhode Island, and they don't give a damn. And I went, thank you very much, sister. Thank you, queen. They have no idea. They're just lying there reading a book. And I thought, that is so fantastic. I went out right away, and it's like, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's too damn bad. That's the way I am. And I'm going to wear my two-piece. And yes, sometimes one of the sisters will fall out in that two-piece too. It's like, deal with it. Deal with it if one of the sisters says hello. So that was a big part for me to learn to not hide my body. It is what it is. And the scars that we have are a really good thing, because it means we've healed. If you have a big open sore, or an incision, that's not very good. You haven't healed yet. But all of our scars say we've healed that. Yes. We've healed all those pieces inside of us and outside of us. And I believe when we heal ourselves, we heal those around us. And when we heal those around us, we can heal the world.
Oh, that right there was just just a mic drop. I mean, I can't say nothing else. I'm going to be quiet. That good golden nuggets, Linda. Yes. And thank you for, telling that story about, being on the cruise, because a lot of times, like you said, as wisdom, we trying to, I don't look, my stomach, all this, and then you see somebody just out there, just like, this is me. And sometimes you have to, ourselves as, sometimes we know as coaches, we know, right? But when it comes to us, sometimes we still kind of have those problems, those challenges. And it takes somebody to show up like that to remind us that, we're good. We're beautiful inside and out in any kind of way we are. Yes.
Could you imagine if I would have tapped her on the shoulder and said that? She would have thought I was crazy. She would have said, like, you have a hang up about your body? Like, what's the matter with you, sister? Yeah, it was such a gift.
But see, you never know where all our challenges are. That's why we need each other. That's why we need each other.
And you don't know what impact you're having on the world. She didn't do what she was doing to have impact on everybody. She was just living her authentic self in her beauty, in her glory. Yeah. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And her ripple effect rippled over onto me.
Yes. Yes. And then that rippled to everybody else, because now you tell the story and it helps everybody else out. See, that's why I tell people we need each other. We need each other. Yeah. So Linda, I wanted, like I said, anything, last thoughts? This time I'm going to take myself down, but this is not the internet. This is me. And then we'll be back to close.
Okay. Do you want my connection? How they connect with me now?
I will do that after you do your last thoughts.
Okay. My last thought is to set an intent. I mentioned that a little bit before. To set an intent for everything that you're going to do. I set an intent for this conversation with Barbara today. I set an intent before I do my meditation. I certainly set an intent this morning before I got into the pool, because I hired a coach and I've been taking lessons. So it's like, okay, I need to remember everything she said. I want to really have a good practice today. And the word practice is important because we're all practicing pieces in life. So have a good practice. Make everything a sacred practice. When you eat something, when you drink your coffee, I'm so grateful. I'm drinking coffee from Beckley this morning. How does that happen? I'm filled with gratitude for that. And that will make a huge difference. Drinking my coffee is a sacred practice. And I try to have sacred practices wherever I can in my life.
This has been, you know what, you have gave me a present today, Linda. This has just been an awesome conversation, and just getting to know you more. Lady, you're the queen of queens. You're the queen of queens. I see the crown. I see the crown. And you're just doing some awesome work in people's lives, as you know, what you bring to them and just help them. See, that's why I love this show so much, to spotlight women like you, Linda. So thank you so much for that. And
I came on because you were a guest speaker at an event I attended. And I could see your queen power, your zestiness. And I connected with you and sent you a message. It said, I saw you. I love your message. It was great.
see, I tell people it works.
Gratitude. I expressed gratitude because you were the highlight of that. It was like 3 days of this. Thank goodness Barbara was on this.
You're so sweet. So that's why, like I said, you're going to be a recurring guest. I'm already putting that out there in the world. I want you to be a recurring guest, and I want you to come and just shed your light, bring, whatever's coming up with you, any kind of new other services, your other books coming out. I really want you to come back and talk a little bit about that as well. Give some gifts to us, regarding what you do in people's lives like you did today. So I really would, we can talk about that. And then just bring you on, maybe it'll be occurring every, month or every, we can talk about that. I mean, it's something,
Okay.
like I said, to give you a spotlight for that. And just to let them know I have your website down there, but if there's anything else how they can contact you, because I know they're going to want to do that now.
That's the best place to go. Go to my brand new, beautiful website. I love it. And right in there, there's a button that says, let's chat. You can connect directly with me and book an appointment. You can hit the Zest Your Life button and scroll through what I have offering. And I have a present for you at the bottom of that page. It's how to use the medicine wheel to have your sacred dreams. You can go on the Zest Your Business button, go down there. You'll find my services. You'll find what I offer in my corporate training programs. And if there's anything you can't find, of course, just book an appointment or send me a note. There's a contact form at the bottom of the page. And I'd love to hear from you.
Wow. And did you hear what she said, everybody? She has a gift. I love gifts. But the biggest gift, I know Linda has a wonderful gift for you, but the biggest gift is working with Linda. So just to let everybody know that's the biggest thing. I know we give our, things to say, hey, have this, but don't make the bigger gift of change your life and wherever you need to do. And if you know somebody that needs that too, reach out to Linda, fill out that contact information on her website, and get to really know her, and she's going to help you in the areas that you need. So I'm a believer of Linda. I love her dearly. Like I said, she'll be coming back, and please just reach out to her and remember. And, just like Linda said, remember to practice and do things in intent. My intent for this show was to bring people like Linda on this show, and I'm going to continue to do that. That is my commitment to myself for the show, because I know there's so many people that you need to get to know just like Linda. And, awareness is the key. Awareness is the key. So with that said, Linda, thank you so much, lady. You're a friend now. You're a friend to me. And please just keep shining to the world and being that world changer that you are.
Thank you.
Wow. That was awesome. I'm still leaving Mrs. Queen Linda's information on the bottom while I talk about lasting thoughts, because I want to make sure that, if you didn't get her information, you can reach out to her. And also, if you're saying, well, that trailer is too, it's going too fast, I can't write everything down, reach out to me and I'll make sure that I get to Linda. So there's no excuses why you can't get to her. I want to just express how important, some of the things that Linda was talking about, far as, really believing yourself. Not, and we both said, remember she said the head thing, right? And having it here. That's so important. That's so important. But, you know, we always say we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. So if it takes that ritual, if you want to call it, every day to say, I am, you know, and put the blank there, I am, and like Linda said, if it takes you to do that, because what I do, because those are affirmations, I do my affirmations in the morning, I do my affirmations in the afternoon, and I do them at night. And a lot of times people ask me, well, Barbara, you're all affirmation out. You're just all day you're doing. I said, you know why? Because Barbara knows what she needs to keep her, reminding her of how special she is, of her uniqueness, of her strength, of her kindness. I had to remind myself of that because everybody, you all have our stories. Remember, Linda has hers. She, you know, her mother, unfortunately, 17. My dad, unfortunately, 17. It's weird how same age groups. I'm like, wow, that is really powerful. But at the time when I was younger, I was bullied. If you probably people know my story, some of you do. I was bullied heavily. I mean, there was the I ams were at that time. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'll get nowhere. I have no knowledge. I don't even know why I'm on this earth. These were people telling me that in my head at the age of 7, between 7 and 10. So now I'm in, you know, my 50s. I'm going up there. And sometimes those same words try to creep back in to my head. And I have to do the I am statements, as Linda said. I have to constantly do that to remind myself, because I can't let that, because eventually if you let those other words come in, those negative words come in, then it can consume you. You can, well, if you let it, let's just say that, if you let it consume you, and then now you are not being your true self, because you're not stupid, you're not ugly, you're not, you know, all that was going on. I have to, those are lies. I had to put them out. That's why it's so important. And I'm always refer back to Linda, because like I said, she gave some good gold nuggets this morning of believing and telling yourself, even though it might be the head thing at the moment, but eventually, if you keep saying it over and over again, you're going to believe it. Just like they kept saying over and over again that I was in a certain way, and I was starting to believe it. Well, let's do the reverse. Let's do the reverse. You know, I am knowledgeable. You know, I am wealthy. I am beautiful inside and out. You know, you start looking at yourself and you start feeling a different way when you keep saying that. So I really want you, that's one thing, a takeaway today. Well, there's a lot of takeaways from Linda, but one takeaway that I really love that she really put out there, and I'm glad she did an example of, you know, the head thing. I love that. I'm gonna use that, Linda, just to let you know I'm loving that one. That you really have to take the time to love you, because if you don't love yourself, if you don't feel like you're unique, your uniqueness is a wonderful uniqueness for the world, then it's hard to help others. It'll be the challenges will be there for you, because you're so, now you have to get yourself in a certain day. And I'm not saying, okay, now let's put it out there real quick. We're not perfect. There's going to be days that you feel like, oh, God, this is just one of them days for me. We all go there. It's a part of life. That's life. We have emotions in us. That's our humanistic part of us. So I don't want you thinking that every day is like, da, 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 you know, and because I don't want people to put a mask on either. And then, you know, you're like, well, I'm not really feeling that way. But own the days when you feel that way. Tell yourself maybe you just need a little bit more of those affirmations, and then move forward and say, you know, it's okay. Because when people see your realness, when they see your authenticness, they say, wow, Barbara, sometimes she doesn't have it. You know, she has feelings sometimes. She's not feeling all happy all the time, you know, or this individual, I didn't know. I felt this way. I thought I couldn't feel this way because everybody's, you know, seeming a certain way. And I thought if I show myself that I'd be wrong. No. That's why we have to be true to ourselves, because we have to make sure that we're letting other people know it's okay sometime. It's okay. And don't beat yourself up for it. So, you know, just to leave you for Friday, you know, it's the end of the week. I know a lot of people getting ready to do things on the weekend, you know, either get with family, friends, or just, you know, maybe you're working, maybe you're doing your business, whatever you're doing. I want you to take that time. And this is the self-care time that, you know, we all should be doing, right? Put a check mark, self-care. that just check into with yourself and make sure you remind yourself of how amazing, awesome, and magnificent that you are, and that you're in this world at this appointed time. This appointed time. Think about that. You're in this world, this appointed time, to make a change, not with this in your own self, that why you're here, but to help make changes in others. That's what it's all. As I keep telling people, that's what it's all about. That's why I don't understand how people say, well, I want to be alone over here and do things and make things happen. Well, let's make things happen together. Let's make things happen together, because that's what makes it a better place. And right now, we need that in the world right now. Hint, hint. We need to love right now. Hint, hint. We need to love each other. And it's not just this separation thing needs to stop. I'm getting on my soapbox right now. I feel it. I feel it in me right now. I'm about to talk. We need to, I don't care. I love when Linda said sisters. I love when Linda said sisters, because I look at her as my sister. I do. I look at any color, creed, race. I look at my women as my sisters. I don't care what it is. And we need to get out of that mind space of this separation, and we need to bring it together and know that all of us need to come together and love each other exactly the same way. It just has to be. Every time I think about it, I feel like I get teared up, because I see so many things, and I'm like, all we have to do is just stand tall and say, we are respecting each other's gifts and uniqueness, and all this other stuff should just fade away. It's so easy, but we make it so difficult. So we need to stop that madness. But I digress. When I said I want to leave with you, let's start with ourselves first, because that's what we have to do. We have to start here, love ourselves, show the love, and then we can love each other. With that said, I want to tell everybody, have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back on next week. All the shows under the Diamond Factor Network from Monday through Friday. We're here every day. But again, on this show, the Coaches Lounge with Barbara Beckley, we will be back with 2 other wonderful coaches next Friday. And remember to live, love, and just have fun in life, because that's what it's all about, is making a difference in the world. See you next Friday.